Well, hi, everybody. Here we are coming at you live from way out west in upstate Tokyo. This is Japan Talk, the official live stream of Gaijin50 PLUS. Thank you, everybody, for coming here today. We hope that you will join in our little group here to have a little bit of discussion about what's going on. It is 8 o'clock. Oh, I've got one visitor, but I can't see you in our list of visitors. I'm going to have to try to figure this out as I talk along. Participants. Okay, I got myself. Is that only me? Okay, maybe that's only me. So I'm going to sit around here for a while. I guess I could just keep on talking, but until somebody shows up here, I don't think it's a lot of fun to be doing a live stream, talking into the void here and not able to interact with anybody. I had a window. Oh, here it is. Okay, I'll be trying to. Okay, so. Live chat. Here we go. All right. So we all set up. Nobody's here. So I just going to sit around here and wait until somebody shows up. I hope everybody got the memo. I had some people said that they were going to be showing up, maybe showing up, but we don't have the 10 or so people that we had last week. Yeah. So it only has me. If you're here and I can't see you for some reason, or you're trying to, if you're trying to get in contact here and can't for some reason, drop me a line really quick. I'll see if I can. As I said, oh, here we go. We got somebody here, but I can't see who it is for some reason. I don't see my list of participants here. You know, I guess I have to. I'm trying to set up my chat so I could see people coming in. If you're trying to, it says all messages are visible. I think I have 2 participants. If somebody, can you send me a message so I can see that you're here? Right now, excuse me, I do have that cough is hanging in here. I can see that somebody's here, but I don't show any kind of. Oh, there we go, Mike. Hi, Mike. How you doing? Finally, I got somebody in here. I don't know if its studio is being late or what, but it took you an awful long time to show up. So the last time I did a live stream last week, I had a couple of news stories ready, and I went through those first, like just reporting news, and then after that I went through and did some chat, and after that some people commented, and they said, "Why aren't you interacting with your guests or with the live chat?" And I thought, okay, if that's what people want, I guess I could do that. But you know, to do that, we'll need more people participating and more chat members. Otherwise, I can't respond to the chat when there is no chat. So, Mike, how are you? Mike, where are you located? If you can you throw in a comment there? Are you in Tokyo or outside of Tokyo? Okay, getting no response. Okay, as you know, I'm in Tokyo. Some guy sent me a message. He said I think he said that he was going to be here. Maybe he'll come in later. But he said that he would imagine that about 10% of the visitors to the site are people who would want to go to Japan someday. And this person suggested that we do something, I don't know, to give advice or answer questions about something like that. But to tell you the truth, I'm not the type to try to pontificate or stand over people and say, you got to do this, you should do this, you should do that. If somebody has a specific question that they would like to, okay, hi, thanks, Mike. I'm looking at a thing over here, thinking, why doesn't Mike answer? And then I looked at my sub display, and that's where your responses are. Sorry, Mike. So, hi, Mike. I'm good, but I may have to leave for a bit. Okay. What's this chat about? I'm in Ibaraki. Okay, Ibaraki, that's not far. I used to have a place in Tochigi, which is right next to Ibaraki. And so that was, I've always liked Ibaraki Tochigi area because I used to play a lot of golf. And as you know, there are a lot of golf courses. Or there at least used to be. I was in Tochigi some time ago, and I noticed that some of the golf courses where I used to play were turned into solar farms. And they just filled the fairways with solar panels to generate electricity. Okay. Today's chat is about actually nothing in particular, I'm sorry to say. As I said, I was in a pretty sad state this week because of my cold. I'm doing my best not to cough into the microphone right now. And so I just thought I'd get up here. And like I said, we had a bunch of people last time that seemed to want to get into the chat. And I didn't pay much attention to the chat until the very end. And some people said, well, you should interact with the chat more. So, okay, I'll do that. What do you think, Mike? Oh, there's a golf course right next to your house. Where are you at in Ibaraki? What city are you in? I used to go to a golf course in Ibaraki all the time. I'm trying to remember the name. Windsor or Windsor Hills or something like that. Are you in that area? Anyway, you said, lucky you got a golf course next to your house. Do you play golf? Okay, but like I said, you know, I'm new at this live stream, live chat. So I don't know that much what people are expecting of these live chats. Do you think that I should? Oh, okay, all right. Sorry about that. Oh, I don't even know where that is. Ryugasaki-shi. I'm gonna make a note of that and look it up a little bit later. Ryugasaki. Okay. Well, Mike, when you got to go, you got please, go ahead. But it seems like you may be the only guy here. I mean, there's a second. Oh, okay. We got some people coming in late. Hi, everybody. I want to say hello in the chat. I was just chatting here with Mike Daly, who's going to have to. Oh, you never played golf. Okay. So Mike's going to be having to bug out here pretty soon. He's got places to go, people to see, I guess. And like I said, Mike, I'm new at this, and so I'm sort of like feeling my way through. I still have a bunch of notes that I could report on. What shall I say? Japan current event kind of news, which is pretty interesting to tell you the truth. But like I said, some people said, well, you did that too much last time. You have to interact with your audience. So that's what I thought I would do. But unfortunately, the audience is tiny today. While we're sitting here, this is the first week of monetization for the channel, which is pretty cool. You know, we got tier 1 monetization 1 week ago today. And so far, my income is a grand total of 0. And that's all your fault. I just wanted to let you all know. No, I'm just joking. In YouTube land, tier 1 monetization means that you can collect money through super chats and I forgot what else they call them, some kind of tip kind of thing, or through memberships. Now, I'm not one that's going to beg my members to send me money. You know, I've never been a good beggar. So what I'm waiting for is tier 2 monetization, and that means that I'll be able to get income from the AdSense revenue. Oh, we got more people coming in. Hi. So I'll be able to get some income from the AdSense revenue, and that means every time they put an ad on my site, on the site, that they'll be paying me some kind of, you know, very small money, a couple pennies or something like that. So, but that's what I'm waiting for, but that I need another almost 1,000 view hours to get that. This week, the view hours have been way down because I've had my cold and I haven't been able to post anything, even though I have a few things in the works, and I will be posting them as time becomes available. But for now, right now, it's a little bit quiet on the site. As I said last week, I'm still working at the university, which is eating up time, and I'm doing other things. But that semester is going to end pretty soon, and my workload is going to get much smaller, and I'm going to be devoting myself more to YouTube content. So please bear with me. Okay. Hi, Mike. Who else is with us? All right, we've got about 5 more participants. I don't know. Is there a way for me to see who's here? I don't know. I'm going to have to check this out later. I'm still a kind of okay. Hi, Mike. There you are. I just saw your picture. You're in number 1. Okay. Let's see. I'm clicking around here trying to figure out what's going on. You know, it was really funny. Oh, here were participants. We only got Mike Daly. I don't know. What else we got here? Participants, I have timestamps, reactions, and feed. Okay. Oh, now it's down to 1 again. So we started out with, you know, there were 5 for a while. Now there's 1. Mike Daly is back here alone, I guess. I think I might have done. Okay. Wow. This little bit confusing. Okay, so what the plan is on these live streams, I'm not just going to get up here like I am today and be being so confused. I do have plans to improve the live streaming. Right now, I'm just live streaming straight into YouTube. And then in the future, I plan on using an application that will make the live streaming more efficient, I think, and more, I don't know, professional and that kind of thing. I don't know if you're familiar with Riverside. I like to use Riverside for my regular videos. It's a pretty good software for production, but it is not easy. You have to know what you're doing. So during my break at the university, I plan on familiarizing myself with Riverside so that we can make this live stream experience much better. Okay, we got a couple of more participants. I wonder sometimes, though, what is it? Sometimes participants, you know, it'll say like last week, it said 10 participants, and then it'll say 8 participants, 10 participants, 7 participants, 10 participants. And now it just went back to 1 again. Are you people having trouble connecting? Mike, you seem to have had no trouble connecting, but there's like right now, I see a little number of participants, and it'll turn to 2 or 3 or something like that, and then it'll go back down to 1. So I don't know what you're doing, Mike, but you seem to be doing the right thing that other people can't seem to be doing. But I'll tell you what, you know, human nature is really interesting, isn't it? I was last week, I was really nervous about this first live stream. And like a couple hours before, I was testing things out, and I was trying things and clicking here and clicking there and trying to figure out what was going on. And I was really tense as 8 o'clock approached. And when we started out, I thought, well, is it going to be okay? And this week, however, I didn't feel nervous at all. In fact, it was boring waiting for 8 o'clock to show up. And then when it finally did, here we are, we started. And I don't feel very nervous at all. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but I feel as if I'm just having a conversation with everybody here. Okay, we've got some people showing up. We have nobody's commenting yet. So I'll talk about some news items that I have here. And if you want to interrupt with anything, if you want to interrupt with a question or a comment as I talk about a news item, or you want to change the subject to something else about, we were talking about immigration status and visas. I've got some news about that. I got news about a poll that was taken in Japan about Takaichi's approval and the way she's handling the Gaijin situation in Japan. That's really, really interesting. It was interesting to me, actually. But so first of all, this is a scam thing that you got to be careful. I don't think anybody here would fall for this. But there was a fake website discovered, and it looked like an official Japanese. It looked like the Prime Minister's office's website, and somebody set it up, and it was pretty well designed. And the Japanese authorities found out about it and went in there and took it down. And as they looked at it, as they analyzed it, they okay, thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. I don't know. Do people really come, like for 1 second and leave or something like that? It's hard to get into it's really hard to get into the swing of things when people keep coming and leaving. I don't. Oh, hey, Hamdusk. Ooh, I'm listening too, but I was a little busy. I hope you recover. Thank you. I do too. Well, I'm on the mend. I'll say that. A couple of days ago, the cold, I wasn't really sick, but I had a nagging cough, and there it is, just to prove. And, it was one of those coughs. I'm sure you know what I mean. It's not that bad until you lay down and try to go to sleep. And then it gets really nagging. And when I do that, I take to putting a pillow in the corner and sort of like half sitting up and sleeping, and that'll usually get me through the night. But the cough is the most annoying thing, and especially teaching. And I'd have to wear a mask. I don't want to be coughing in the student faces. And riding the train in Japan, you've got all these people together, and you don't want to be coughing in people's faces. So I was taking some cough medicine, but I don't know if that really works. But anyway, let's go back to the fake website. They found this fake website, and they thanks, Mike, for the advice. They found this fake website, and then they checked it out, and then they found out it was set up by Russian-speaking individuals. Now, it didn't say necessarily that it was a Russian government or anything like that, but they said that they found out that the people who set it up were Russian speaking. And they are saying that when you went to the site, it looked like a Japanese prime minister's office, and the site content was actually promoting investment schemes. And so what would happen is they would say, well, this is the prime minister's office, and we've got this good investment opportunity for you. So input your name and your email address and your phone number, and you can make a lot of money. So once especially their phone number, they would get a call. They'd get a call by a Japanese speaking person, and they were told, well, enter your credit card details and make a payment and do this, and we'll help you get rich. And of course, it was a scam. It was a money-making scam. So the Japanese government has issued warnings about this website. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, who would be stupid enough to get into something like that? And all I can say is you would be surprised. And I don't mean this you would be surprised in Japan. You would be surprised anywhere, but maybe you wouldn't, because we've all heard stories, I'm sure. But if you live in Japan, you know that Japanese people are very trusting of authority. It's really hard to say, because in some way they're very wary of authority, but in another way, if an authoritative figure tells them what to do, they generally go along. I mean, it's really strange. Even what I said is not really 100% true, so it's really hard to say what I want to say. And so there are a lot of scams in Japan and everywhere else. And there's the one I just said about the Prime Minister's office. And there's another one. There was another story that to me was so hilarious. I mean, and I'm not mocking the guy, and I'm not mocking what's going on in Japan, but the scam story is so unbelievable that I'd like to share it with you. And that is some guy. He was a 53-year-old office worker. And he started getting phone calls and video calls over the Line messaging app, which is widely used in Japan. And some guys were claiming to work for a major telecom company. And they also connected him with another guy who said he was with the police. Now, the police guy, the alleged police guy, told him, well, sir, 40 million yen has been deposited into your account and immediately removed. And that the account belongs to you. So you are implicated in this potential crime, this money laundering crime. So then they said, in order to clear your name, we need to check the serial numbers on the bank notes deposited in your account. And in order for us to do that, you have to transfer the money in your account to our police account so we can compare the serial numbers on your money to the serial numbers of this fraud, this crime. And this guy, I mean, I'm sure he knows better. And if he had thought for a moment, he would have realized that something's funny. But since he was talking to an alleged policeman, he said, okay, and transferred the money. And of course, he's waiting for it to get cleared and come back to his bank account. And lo and behold, it didn't for some reason. So he contacted the authorities and found out that your money's gone, and I don't know, he learned or he realized or he suddenly said, oh yeah, my bank account isn't a box containing banknotes, is it? It's electronic transfers. So this checking the serial numbers on my bank account, the money in my bank account sounds pretty bogus. Okay, so isn't that he made 3 separate transfers over a period of 2 days. Let's talk about that survey, shall we? I was going to wait until more people showed up. Let me see if okay, I'll give you another one. I've got a big. Okay, here it is. I'll give you another one. This is another crime thing that's really interesting. This is a good one for guys, young guys, unmarried guys who are still in the dating world. Have to watch out. Be careful. Japan's got a law that can get you into trouble if you don't watch it. Recently, a Japanese woman sued a man for 1.5 million yen for violating her right to chastity. Actually, she sued him for more, but she was awarded 1.5 million yen in a suit for violating her right to chastity. You ever heard of that before? So the Tokyo District Court early this month ruled in favor of a woman who was deceived by a man she was in a sexual relationship with, and ordered the man to pay 1.51 million yen, which is about $9,500 US. And according to the ruling, the man had violated the woman's right to chastity because he did not reveal to her that he was married with children when they entered into their relationship. Isn't this interesting? I never knew that there was such a law in Japan. So this right to chastity, which is called teisoken in Japanese, doesn't mean the right to virginity. No. And it doesn't mean the right to abstinence or not to have sex. It could be more accurately called a right to sexual self-determination. Now, this means that everyone has the right to make their own informed choices when engaging in consensual sex. So in the eyes of the Japanese law, lying to someone in order to convince them to have consensual sex with you invalidates the consent. However, the law does not call that non-consensual sex or rape. Oh, I hope I can say that on YouTube. I don't think I can. I hope they bleep it out. I hope they don't. But anyway, forcible sex, because there was no physical or mental coercion, there was no getting somebody drunk or no threats or no abuse of authority. But the woman actually, in this case, freely agreed to having the sex while of sound mind, but she was misled about the details of the situation. So this was treated as a civil case rather than a criminal one. In this particular case, the woman met the man on a dating app and entered into a 4-month sexual relationship with him. But he then suddenly cut off all contact with the woman. And so she hired a private detective, and they uncovered the man's secret family life. So the smoking gun that led the court to the ruling in her favor was that her dating app specifically said she was not interested in dating a married man. So this guy said, well, I'm not married. Let's do it. And she said, okay. The man must have been seen that, but he proceeded to get involved with her anyway, implicating himself with malicious intent. Now, the lawsuit was originally for 7.82 million yen, but the upper limit for violating someone's right to chastity is usually around 3 million yen. And likely additional penalties for things like mental anguish were added, but the awarded amount was only 1 point, whatever it was. I lost the final page of this news item. But anyway, that's quite a story, isn't it? I mean, sure, when we're young, young guys, I don't know about ladies, I can't speak for them, but when a young guy is out fooling around, he'll lie. But in Japan, if you lie and through your lies, course, or because of your lies, a woman agrees to have sex with you, she can use that later to sue you for her right to chastity. Isn't that interesting? Okay, let me see. We've got some comments coming in. Hey, Kansai Boxer, how you doing? I'm here now. My son was telling me about the new Prelude. In Texas, we call it the crud. Oh, what's the crud? That's they just trade. Yeah. Oh, the crud is the. Is crud the, I don't know, crud. To me, crud is what's going on in my nose sometime when I have a cold. Okay. And when you say Prelude, you're talking about the car? It's a Honda? Honda? Okay. Yeah, in Russia, Russia, they do treat, that may be their main industry. Russia and places like Nigeria. I saw a story. Yeah, Mike, that is an interesting precedent. I saw a story recently. I don't know if it's true. If anybody knows, it said that China is using Uyghur slave labor to conduct online warfare or scams against the West. Is that true? Has anybody else heard anything about that? I was really surprised to hear that. Okay, now that we've got a couple of more people, okay, our audience is growing a little. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that story about the survey about gaijins in Japan. And this is a really interesting survey that I think is very suitable to this channel. As you know, Takaichi administration came in, with real Trumpian energy and just started kicking butt and taking names. Now, I personally, my opinion, feel that the LDP may, or certain people in the LDP may have had these kind of plans in mind for a long, long time. I mean, it's not, you can't just come in and a month later, you just can't come. Yeah, okay, yeah. I heard trillions worldwide, the scamming business. Kansai Boxer just said, yeah, I wouldn't be, I've sat back to myself and thought, man, I'm in the wrong business. Maybe I should know, but scamming poor old people out of their hard-earned money is not my feeling. I've seen, I'm sure we all have these scammer payback videos and things like that, and old people just losing everything. Watch your money, everybody, whatever amount it may be. But back to this Takaichi administration, the way they came in and hit the ground running. I mean, like we had Trump. Trump had his first administration, then he was out, and then he came back. And so there was a lot of time to prepare for his second administration. And they had the experience of the first administration to work upon. But the Takaichi, the way she came in, and they just started implementing this left and right. And I'm under the belief, my own personal belief, no proof, just my is that they had wanted to do this for a long, long time. Certain factions of the LDP, but they were maybe stopped or held in check by their main coalition partner, Komeito. Now, Komeito is a is more of a woke left-wing bent, and can't we all just get along together? People got to learn to live with one another kind of party. And I think that, did Komeito storm off in a huff, or did LDP say, thanks, Komeito, but we got this? I don't know. But the way the LDP hit the ground running and started implementing all these changes that are not easy to implement, I have the feeling that either they or the bureaucracy had a lot of this in mind, a lot of this in mind for a long, long time. But anyway, all kinds of immigration stuff is going on, as you know. It's affecting us. Okay, Mike Daly. Okay, got a question. Let me interrupt here for a minute because I don't know how long he's got to be around. Mike, the schedule. How long the schedule is scheduled for? I don't have an idea. I don't have a limit. Last time it was just about an hour. Maybe that's good. If that's too long, let me know what you guys think. If you think that you want to hear, tell me how long you think it should be. Maybe I should do a poll on the channel. Maybe that's the best way. Or just you could let me know here. Okay. You asked me my name. My full name is Edward. My friends call me Ed, or they call me Eddie, and you can call me anything you want. You can call, but that's it. That's to answer your question. Okay, Mike. I've got a strange last name. My last name sounds like a Japanese name, but it's not. But anyway, my name is Edward Eddie. Okay, all right. So Takaichi hit the ground running. All kinds of stuff going on. I mean, it was blam, 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 blam. Stuff that looked like it was set in stone. Japan wants more foreigners to come in. Japan wants more, just what was it? A couple of months ago, they were saying Japan wants to triple the number of foreign tourists so we can get more money. I mean, it was really, really wild what they were planning on doing. So Takaichi comes in and she says, we're going to raise these prices. We're going to cut these people. We're going to not allow this. We're going to not allow that. We're going to blah, and people are sitting there going, wow, like I said, a real Trumpian energy, which is, I'll tell you, very, very popular among the Japanese people. Takaichi's popularity and her support for what she's doing in the realm of immigration is highly supported among the Japanese people. Recently, there was a nationwide survey conducted by the Mainichi Shimbun. It was in November. And the policy of, they asked about the policy of tightening measures pertaining to foreigners. And that says that has been a key factor supporting the high approval rating Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi's cabinet. And it says that the Mainichi poll in November revealed that 71% of respondents approved of this policy, significantly outnumbered the 10% who disapproved. So this is what is going on in this country. People have been concerned for a long, long time, but nobody had been paying attention, which is, if you think about it, which is the same situation that's going on in many countries around the world. You've got a government that just charges forward with some idea, ignoring the opinions of their citizens, and then going, wow, why wasn't I reelected? All right. But anyway, among those who support the cabinet, 84% expressed approval of her policy aimed at foreigners, while only 2% disapproved. Even among those who do not support the cabinet, 45% approved of the policy, surpassing the 37% who did not. Now, some people were saying, well, stricter measures could foster xenophobia, and, maybe we shouldn't be, blah, blah, But basically speaking, just about everybody's on board with this in Japan. By gender, 78% of men and 65% of women approved, 10% and 11% disapproved. And approval is across all age groups. People below the age of 70, more than 70% approved of the policy. 68% of those aged 70 and above expressed approval, which means that it's supported across generations. Now, they went through and they asked they asked people, what was the reason for your approval and what was your reason for this approval? And people are saying, well, we got to be nice to, can't we all get along together? There was a lot of that. But one of the overwhelming responses for the approval is people are really upset about foreign acquisition of real estate. They're really upset about that. They say it's fundamentally wrong to have a system where foreigners can freely buy our land. Restrictions and regulations should be put into place. Concerns about national security were also voiced. And the most, and they also said people, and a lot of foreigners, I'm not going to say, but they're not talking about foreigners. They're talking about a specific nationality. But they're saying foreigners buying up real estate drives up the prices, and local Japanese people can't afford to live in their own country. So people are getting very upset about that. There was also some talk. Now this to me is a little bit irritating. They're saying, well, there are problems with foreigners' violations of manners, and deterrents are needed for those who don't follow manners and threaten daily life. And I feel daily discomfort toward foreign tourists and residents. This kind of stuff. Violation of manners, as if Japanese people never violate their own manners, which they do. I mean, I won't go into that. I'm thinking of doing a myth busting video on things like that, but I don't want to get into it too much now because I could probably get into a lot of trouble about that. And is that it? Yeah, there are people saying that, and then there are people, and this is true, I think about it too. Okay, they're raising the visa prices and they're cracking down, but then at the same time they need foreign workers to come in and do certain jobs. So it's a hard balancing act. So we're going to see how Takaichi, if she can pull it off, and if she can walk that tightrope. But people right now are very, very happy about it. Okay. Right. So her leadership skills will be put to the test. Let's look at the comments as while I was. Yeah, my illness. Yeah, I agree. It is definitely the ick or whatever it is, the crud. Yeah, no kidding. I hate that. Actually, I bought one time, but I've never used it. I've got this device that they sell in Japan. Do they sell it in other countries too? It's an electrical device, and it's got a little tank on it, and it's got a hose, and this hand device connects by hose to the tank, and it's got a long, I don't know, what is it, a nozzle or a barrel, and a trigger that turns, and it's actually for young babies. But somebody I know swore by it. They said, this is really good when you got a cold. You stick that barrel up into your nose and pull the trigger, and it vacuum sucks whatever's, there up in your sinuses out and into the tank. Okay, sorry if I'm being too gross, but it's supposed to be good relief for the stopped up sinuses that makes this kind of cold hard to endure. Anybody ever use that? Anybody ever heard of that? If nobody's ever heard of it or nobody's ever seen it, I'll bring it on next week, and I'm not going to demonstrate it, don't worry, but I'll show you what it is and how it works. And I'm not going to stick it in my nose. Please don't worry. But if you want to know, I can show it to you. Let's see what we got here. Right. Okay. Maybe you should initially set the chat for 1 hour. And if it's popular and your listeners are asking for more, you can extend it incrementally. Just my 2 cents. Well, I'll tell you something, Mike. You were the first one who signed into here. So your 2 cents are worth a lot. So yeah, that's what I'll do from now on. I find this week's this week's live stream, much more relaxing than I was really tense last week and trying to look at everything all at the same time, not ready to screw up. But this week we just sort of like eased right into this. How much we okay. If anybody has any, you folks, anybody have a question, let her rip or anything like that, and I will deal with it. I've got another news story. Do you people ride bicycles in Japan? Yeah, time flies when you're having fun, isn't it? Yeah, that's true. Kansai boxer. Everybody ride bicycles. So if you live in Japan, you either ride a bicycle or you have to deal with bicycles. You do. Okay. I don't know how you pronounce your Hamedosk. Hamedosk. Okay. So I don't ride a bicycle now. I used to. But I have to walk outside, of course. And yeah. Oh, hey, Kelvin, 5 a.m. in Huntsville, Alabama. Kelvin Mitchell just joined. Kelvin is an old friend of mine who I've never met. Kelvin and I have been online friends for, wow, how long, Kelvin? Long time. And we have regular contact with each other. And I'm looking forward to the day that I will be able to meet Kelvin someday. But today, he's joining us from Huntsville, Alabama at 5 a.m. He used to listen to my old Japundit podcast, right? Okay. Kansai Bado, Osaka, near Kicks. Yeah, almost 20 years, Kelvin. We've been friends. We've been, online friends for 20 years, Osaka Kicks. Yeah, that's a long time. 20-year online relationship. Wow, it sounds like one of us is going to become a Philippine bride someday or something like that. But anyway, bicycles. Let's talk about bicycles. If you are a cyclist, I would like to warn you that the crackdown is coming, and it's already started. Japan really put a lot of teeth into its bicycling laws. I think it was this year or last year, and those stronger restrictions and penalties and enforcement are set to go into effect next year, April. However, they have already started. Maybe this is the run-up. They're getting ready for it. But it seems that nearly 900 people in Japan in 2025 had their automobile driver's licenses suspended for drunk bicycle riding. Can you imagine that? People got caught, or not caught cycling while drunk, but they were cycling. They were really bad, and they were caught, and it was determined they were, riding really badly because they were drunk, and they lost their automobile driver's license, driver's permit. Isn't that something? I've never heard of that. How is that in other countries? I've never. Anyway, a total of 896 people nationwide had their driver's licenses suspended for riding a bicycle while under the influence of alcohol between January and September of this year. So it probably will go over 1,000. This is up from 2 the year before. Wow. I don't think that it's gotten any worse. I think that the police, that's the way it is in Japan. They'll pass all kinds of laws, and then the police will look the other way when somebody's breaking the law. But they've decided bicyclists have to be reined in. What are the core policies related to foreigners, please? Okay, I'll let me finish this story and we'll talk about that for a minute, for a bit. So November of last year is they revised the road traffic law, and they said cycling at or above a certain blood alcohol level is a punishable offense. And there are a lot of cases where the police have determined that drunk cyclists were also likely to pose a significant danger when driving a car. Those who make the irresponsible decision to ride a bicycle while drunk will now pay a high price because they will lose their driver's license. And you know, the Japanese driver's license, if you do something bad, there are penalty points and stuff like that. So all of that is involved. I don't know if you automatically lose your license, but this is part of the penalty point system. Even prior to the revision of the law, the authorities had the power to suspend the driver's license of an individual who was drinking and riding, but they didn't enforce it, as I said. So according to the law, bicycling while intoxicated at or above a threshold of 0.15 milligrams of alcohol per liter of breath. I don't know what that means. If you know what that means, you're better than I. 0.15 milliliters of alcohol per liter of breath. Breaking down the data by home prefecture of the people who were suspended, 340 were in Osaka. How does that, Kansai Boxer, does that sound right to you? Osaka people drink a lot and ride their bicycles. This was followed by Tokyo with 124, Wakayama 73, Nara 66, 4 in Aichi, and 17 in Fukuoka. And there were 22 prefectures which didn't record a single loss of driving license. So then it may either be those people didn't commit such an infraction, or the police don't enforce it so strongly. Alcohol, the government has become, not the government, the laws are becoming stricter against alcohol. In the past, drinkers were like gods. They were treated very well. You could commit a crime, you could force yourself on someone and be caught by the police and use, I was drunk as a defense, and it worked. Okay. Penalties for cycling while intoxicated at or above a threshold of 0.15 include imprisonment for up to 3 years. Got that? If you drink and cycle, you could be a maximum up to 3 years in prison or a fine up to 500,000 yen. Here's an important one. Listen up. A person who rides on the back of a bicycle being driven by someone who is under the influence, or a person who serves alcohol to a bicyclist, are also subject to penalties. So they say that with the year end coming up here, there's going to be a lot of year end parties and a lot of drinking. So it's for sure that the police are going to be watching. So if you do go out, and if you plan to go home by bicycle, don't think, oh, I'm going to drink, so I'll leave my car at home and I'll go by bicycle and I'll be safe. Not necessarily so. There are a lot of rough times coming up for cyclists, most of whom I think are quite good, but there are some really bad cyclists out there. The other day I was going home. I was going to the station from my university. It's the end of the day. It's a little dark. My mind was just meandering as I'm walking along. And all of a sudden, this older woman on a bicycle coming this way, I don't know what happened. She wasn't paying attention, or she lost control. all of a sudden she almost ran into me, you know. I mean, she was going at a pretty good clip to the point where I went, wow, you know, and she went, whoa, sumimasen. But and it was on the sidewalk, and there is a bicycle path that she chose not to use. So especially in Tokyo and crowded cities, bicyclists are a bit of a problem. I hope it's not you guys, but I'm sure it's not either. Okay, so let's see what we got. Are you planning to chat at the same? You know what? I think I will. Oh, let's go. Let me back up. What core policies around core? Okay, real estate makes sense to me. Yes, you're correct. You're correct. Core policies related to foreigners, you mean by the government, by the Takaichi administration? They've, you know, raised the visa fees by like 4 or 5 times, and they're making it more difficult to get permanent residence, and make it more difficult to change to Japanese nationality. And there are entrepreneurial visas that were once relatively easy to obtain as long as you had the money. Those requirements have been toughened, and it was easy to get a Japanese driver's license just by showing your own country's driver's license. And then these people would take their Japanese driver's license and get an international license. And some countries, they wouldn't honor those licenses to get an international license. So Japan was all this kind of stuff. You know, the pass rate of foreigners trying to get a Japanese driver's license over the past month went from 95% pass to something like 20% or something like that, maybe even less. I don't remember what the exact number is. But they are, you know, Japan was like, it was really easy to navigate until recently. And they're trying to crack down a little bit. And I don't want to say too much because, you know, there's a lot of nuance behind it. There's a lot of, you know, social considerations behind it, but Japan is definitely tightening up its immigration procedures. I don't think most of us have to worry about it, especially, you know, if you live right, pay your taxes, pay your fees, smile, you know, every once in a while say shikata ga nai, you know, you'll be all right. Okay. All right, late to the party. Redneck veteran. Hey, redneck veteran. Great. Okay, the population of South Asians is growing around. Yeah, I noticed that too. Around here, you go to the 7-Eleven or a convenience store, you know, I sometimes chat people up, you know, not when it's busy, but, you know, I'll be there sometime and I'll say, well, where are you from? And a lot of people around my neighborhood are from Nepal. And there seem to be a lot of Nepalese people working in the convenience stores around here these days. Real estate makes sense to me. Yeah, it makes sense to me too. I wish the United States would wake up and smell the coffee on that. You know, the thing about real estate, I used to be in the Army, like I said, and I was in the Army Security Agency, which was an intelligence kind of thing. And what we did in our base was strictly guarded, and we had to show special IDs to get in and out, and we were never able to carry anything in or carry anything out. And one of the bases where I don't know, they may still be there, but one of those bases up in Hokkaido, I was told, I don't know if it's true or if it's still true now, but I read one time that all the land around this highly secured base area had been bought up by people from one particular country. So, you know, why? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a nice place to live. Who knows? But anyway, it's something that Yeah, in the United States too, the selling of farmland to foreign buyers and stuff like that. People start using your head, right? People start using your head. Okay, are you planning to do a chat at the same time every week? I wasn't at first, but yeah, I'll commit. I will do a chat at the same time every week. I chose 8 o'clock on Saturday because I thought that might be the best time. If you have an opinion, you can send me an email, or maybe I'll do a poll on the site, and we'll make adjustments to make everybody happy, or as many people as possible happy. Okay, but I'll do it. I'll commit to doing it every week. That's the only way. Otherwise, if I say, well, I'll do it when I feel like it, I may never feel like it again. But if I set a schedule and I'm going to do it every week at 8 o'clock, I'll do it. I'm that kind of person. So I kind of like to have. That's how I did the first one. I announced I'm going to do it, and then I said, oh my God, now I got to do it. And I like having that hanging over my head. Late to the party, Redneck Veteran. Hey, Redneck Veteran, nice to have you. Love the neti pot. Neti pot. Is that something behind me? What's a neti pot? I don't know. And Kelvin asks, are the Ebkes popular there? I don't know what that is. Ebkes? Okay. And Kansai Box said, I saw a TV commercial. Was it pretty gross? Actually, I bought it a long time ago, and I've never used it. I have, it sounded like a good idea. And then I got this thing, and I was sitting there, and now all you got to do is stick this up your nose and start vacuuming. And I never worked up the guts to do it. Which device did you think was gross, the neti pot or the one that Ed was talking about? Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you, Mike, I think Kansai Boxer, maybe he's talking about the electrical device. The TV commercial had water running out of the lady's nose. It was very, that's a nasal irrigation thing, right? That's something else, right? I saw that too. They were saying, nasal irrigation, you take this solution and you shoot it up one nostril until it comes out. That's another one. I wonder about that too. I don't know if I'd have, and I imagine if you shoot it up your nostril, it's probably coming out the other side. It's probably coming out your eyes. I don't know. Anybody ever use that? Does it help? Maybe we'll start a new trend. Okay. The TV commercial. Yeah. As they should. Okay. Did you see my earlier suggestions? Read the length of the chat. The length of the chat. Oh, I don't know what you mean, Mike, about the length of. Oh, you mean 1 hour and then add on incrementally? Yes, I did see that, and yeah, I'm going to follow that. I'm going to commit to 1 hour, and if it goes longer, it goes longer. Oh, yeah, we're over an hour now. I have no trouble shooting my mouth off. So, that's why I always say that the only thing you need to be a critic or a commentator is a big mouth. So I guess I'm a commentator. So manga, the neti pot is that electronic nasal. Oh, okay. I didn't know that's what it's called, neti pot. So I say again, right? This wasn't you introduced. It was you sucked it. It was like a vacuum cleaner. It's like a nasal vacuum cleaner. Maybe I got to try that. But actually, my cold is getting better. See? I say, I should try it. And I say, well, actually, my cold is getting better, so I'll wait until the next time. What a coward. Okay. Kelvin, e-bike, electric bikes times, electric bikes. E-bikes, there are e-bikes here. There are two types of e-bikes. The e-bikes, where it's an electric like an electric moped, right? And they've also got electric assist bikes. And a lot of housewives have those. You know, when you got a kid on the front, kid on the back, and a load of groceries going up a hill can get real old real quick. So they've got these. When you reach a certain degree of difficulty in pedaling, it'll give you a little bit of a boost assist and make your pedaling a bit easier. And these are the assist bikes, but they don't really add that much speed to what you're doing. Now, there are, as far as I know, electric bikes and electric scooters here too are very popular. But there are various restrictions. I saw a kid on one of those electric scooters, and he was riding on the sidewalk, and the cop did a beeline out of the police box, the Koban, and almost tackled the guy, you know, said, "Get off this sidewalk," you know, that's so you have to know what you're doing if you're using an e-bike or an e-scooter. Yeah. Kansai Bhakta, times are changing. Yeah, I keep saying that, right? There are people, I'm sure you, in fact, I've been thinking about doing a video about this. So many gaijins running around saying, "Oh, Japan is changing." Well, yeah, what do you expect, right? You expect it to stay the same to entertain you, right? Japan has been changing the whole time I've been here. You know, I've remained the same, but Japan is changing around me, right? Or my smart aleck remark is usually people say, "Oh, Japan is changing," and I like to say, "Well, I hope so. Otherwise, there would still be Imperial Army troops guarding the Marco Polo Bridge." You know, I mean, for Pete's sake, you know, Japan is different from what it was a few years ago, and a few years ago it was different from what it was a few years before that. So yeah, times are changing. What are you going to do about it? All you can do is adapt, and every once in a while go shikataranai, you know. That's how you survive in Japan. Well, everybody, I'm a little bit over time. I could go on, you know. This is fun. What I'm going to do in the future, like I've talked about this before, the plans I have, I'm going to do this live stream religiously every Saturday at 8 o'clock. I am open to adjusting the time to suit everybody's likes and needs, but I will do a weekly live stream. It's fun. It's fun for me. And whether I hope we can get zillions of more attendees. And I think I mentioned this last week. I'm going to be implementing a Riverside live stream studio here. And what that will allow me to do is have call-in guests. That is, you guys, like today, you're typing something and I look at it, and I will be able to allow participants to come into the stream and talk, either with a camera image or without a camera image. It's up to you. But it takes a little bit, you know. Now I'm used to studio, the basic YouTube studio. I've got confidence. I can do this. But if I implement or introduce these new higher level functions and other software, I'm going to have to make myself accustomed to using them. And so I can pull it off without blowing things up halfway through. Last week, one more thing. Last week, if you were here, I lost the live chat. For some reason, it's a long story, but there's a toggle you have to set in YouTube. Keep live chat. And I didn't set that toggle, so the live chat was lost when the stream ended. This time, save live or keep live chat is on. So if you watch this video later, you'll be able to see the messages as we discuss things here. Okay? All right, that's it. If you don't have anything else, I appreciate all of you. coming in. Kelvin, nice to see you. Kansai Boxer, Bambanchi. I walk everywhere. Oh, I didn't even notice. Haven't driven since moving to Japan. Never learned to ride a bike. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Good for you. Yeah, as far as driving, I used to drive when I was out in Tochigi. When you're out in the countryside, maybe you have to drive. But now that I live in Tokyo, I never drive. I walk everywhere and take the train everywhere and the subway and the bus. So anyway, thank you for coming. And I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And we'll see you on the channel. And if not there, I'll see you next week at the next live chat. And like I said, feel free to ask questions. You could send me questions ahead of time if you want. My email address is freely available on the site somewhere if you look around there. And so thanks a lot for coming, everybody. And I'll see you next week. Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. I'm going to end the stream. Bye.